New question. The Leader of the Opposition.
Premier, Mr. Speaker. Premier, the Ontario Civilian Police Commission has said, quote, all Police Service Board members have an obligation to respect, uphold and follow the law. While this is true for every citizen, it is even more so for individuals who have the legislated responsibility for ensuring law enforcement and crime prevention in their community. End of quote. Premier, as you ignore the calls for you to have Jerry Lougheed resign, you also ignore the higher standard that is expected of Mr. Lougheed as chair of the Sudbury Police Services Board. So will you finally do the right thing and ask Jerry Lougheed to step aside?
Thank you. Be seated. Thank you. The interjections while I'm trying to get quiet are not acceptable. Premier.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. You know, I have said this, I will say it again, that we do not direct police services boards. They are responsible for the provision of adequate and effective police services in their municipalities. And, Mr. Speaker, I understand that the Sudbury Police Services Board addressed this issue.
Member from Leeds, Granville, come to order.
Lougheed to remain, and they will continue to make the determinations that they see to be appropriate, Mr. Speaker. The investigation is ongoing. We will continue to cooperate, and we will work with the authorities, but that investigation is happening outside of this House, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Supplementary.
To the Premier, Mr. Speaker. Again, Premier, the Ontario Civilian Police Commission says that members of police service boards have, quote, a responsibility to conduct themselves with the utmost circumspection and prudence and are expected to have the highest levels of honesty and integrity, and that this is most certainly the case for board chairs, end of quote. Premier, while your appointee, Jerry Lougheed, is under 2 OPP investigations, his honesty and integrity are being called into question. So I'll ask you, Premier, don't you think the residents of Sudbury deserve a person as chair of their Police Services Board, a person who is above suspicion and held to the same standard to which other Police Service Board members and board chairs are held to?
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Speaker. And I thank the member opposite for the question. And as Speaker, as I've spoken to this issue before, the Police Services Board is accountable to their local communities. That's why, Speaker, we have Police Services Board so that they can provide oversight for the local police service, so that they can ensure that they can provide adequate and effective policing within their jurisdiction, Speaker. And that's why, as we have seen in the case of Sudbury, the local Ottawa Police Service Board, which is made up of both municipal and provincial appointees, have looked into the matter and decided to keep Mr. Lougheed as the chair of the board. Speaker, we should respect that decision of theirs, and if there needs to be any further looking into this matter, the Ontario Civilian Police Commission is very well equipped as an arm's length a body to look into the matter, Speaker. Thank you.
Mr. Speaker, to the Premier.
From Lanark will come to order. Final supplementary.
The Ontario Civilian Police Commission has also said that there is, quote, an obligation of the board to obey the law, and this necessitates an effort to ensure the propriety of their actions when the questions arise. I think we can all agree in this House that the propriety of Mr. Lougheed's actions has arisen. In addition to Mr. Lougheed's normal responsibilities, the board goes on to say he or a board chair has a leadership role. And Premier, you have a leadership role. So will you show some leadership? Do the right thing. Get rid of these bad apples. Get rid of the person who's chairing the Police Services Board in Sudbury, who's under suspicion. Just clear the air. Let the police do their job. Let the courts do their jobs. Spend the day in court and save your own reputation.
Be seated, please. Be seated, please. Thank you. Minister.
Thank you very much, Speaker. I think, Speaker, the member is fully aware, and I've stated before in this House, there is a code of conduct that is put in place through regulation, and it's up to the Ontario Civilian Police Commission, Speaker, who has the responsibility to ensure
from Oxford,
that there are no breaches to the code of conduct. Speaker, that is an appropriate process to have because it's arm's length from the government. The Minister of Community Safety and Correctional Services, Speaker, has no authority to suspend or remove a member of the Police Services Board. So I suggest, Speaker, that the members in this House refrain from being judge and jury and everything in between, and let the independent process, as we have said,
member from Lanark come to order second time.
do their work. Thank you, Speaker.